Good evening and welcome to Daily Red Devil for all of your latest Manchester United transfer news and talk. I hope everyone is doing well on this Tuesday evening. We're back with another massive show to bring you guys tonight. But before we jump into that, please smash a like on the video. Let's try and see 200 likes on tonight's video. And please do subscribe if you are new to the channel. On tonight's show, we're going to be talking about a potential last-minute deal for a PSG player. Also talking about the future of Amrabat and Pellistri, with permanent exits from the club looking quite likely at this stage. And then all of the other good stuff surrounding Man United, transfer-related business, bit of general talk about the Manchester United. And as always, guys, I invite you to have your say on all things in the comment section below. Let me know your thoughts on everything we discuss on this evening's show. Let's start off with a couple of news bits on exits from the club. So first of all, we can confirm that Pellistri has travelled to Spain today ahead of a move to Granada. Now, apparently there's a chance that it might have a buy option in the summer. Now, I want you guys to let me know, what do you think about the potential of Pellistri moving to Granada on a permanent deal? He's going to go on loan to start with, but there is apparently going to be an option for a permanent deal. The story goes as this. It says that Granada are now going to try and sign Pellistri as a permanent transfer in the summer if his loan deal goes through before the window closes, obviously on Thursday. It says the deal is back on after it stalled over Pellistri's personal terms. It says both sides, so Man United and Granada, are currently waiting for Erik ten Hag to give the green light. So I think Pellistri will, of course, go to Granada. He will go on loan. Hopefully he goes there and does well. I quite like Pellistri. I don't know whether he has a future at Manchester United, though, being completely honest. You know, we can all sit here and say, oh, Erik ten Hag should start him over Antony and all the rest of it. But if you actually think about it deep down, it's all if, buts and maybes. You know, it's not like Pellistri is a world-class player who's being deprived from the team. I think he's good. I think he has potential, but I don't think he's world-class personally. And the thing that I think a lot of United fans seem to forget about Pellistri is he's 22 now. It's not like he's a 17-year-old and he's, really deserves his chance to break into the team. He's 22 years of age. Yes, he's in the Uruguay national team and he does quite well for them, but I don't know, when you think Garnacho is 18 and is at this stage in his career where he is, and then you've got Pellistri who's 4 years older, I don't know. I like him. I think he's good, but I'm not going to be devastated if he goes, being completely honest. We bought him for about 8 million euros 3 or 4 years ago. As long as we got a return on our investment, I don't know, 20 to 20 million euros, I'd be happy with that, being completely honest. If Manchester United don't think he's good enough to be a Manchester United player, maybe playing in La Liga at Granada is his level, Maybe that's just the reality that we have to accept. Let's see what people are saying in the chat. Somebody says, I think it's the best move for Pellistri. I think he'll get more game time. Yeah, I agree with you, mate. Let's do a little poll then, just to get the conversation going. And the question's going to be simple. Would you sell Pellistri on a permanent deal in the summer? Let me know in the comment section, guys. So anybody who's watching it back on repeat, obviously you can't get involved in the poll because polls are only in the live shows. But let me know the answer to this question. Would you sell Pellistri on a permanent deal in the summer? Now, I want to say this, right? I think there are plenty of other players who should be moved out of the club before Pellistri. I don't think he's top of the list. You look at the Maguires, you look at the Scott McTominays. There's a whole list of players before Pellistri. But the way I see it is this, right? Pellistri is on a small wage at Manchester United. He cost Manchester United a small amount of money, about 6 million euros. And he's a player that's definitely sellable, When you look at people like Marcus Rashford, and, me included, are saying, right, sell him in the summer. You've got a club's got to come in and offer probably 70, 80 million for him, and also match his 350 grand a week wages. There's probably only one or two clubs in world football that would do that. PSG and maybe some Saudi clubs. Bayern Munich wouldn't buy Rashford for 80 million, I don't think, personally. I doubt Real Madrid would come in for someone like Rashford personally either, when they've got Vinicius Junior. And even then, you look at someone like Vinny Junior, a sellable player, okay? He's on a really, really low wage. And, he wouldn't cost another team much money. He's only being paid 20,000 a week at the moment by Man United, which I know to me or you sounds like a lot of money, but when you think that Marcus Rashford's on 350 grand a week, a team like Granada could afford to pay could afford to pay Pellistri's wages, you know, whereas a team like Bayern Munich wouldn't pay Marcus Rashford's wages, I doubt. I'm just having a quick look now. So as it stands at the moment, Granada have about 6 or 7 players in their squad who are paid the same amount as Pellistri or more. So it fits within their wage bill. You know, he could go there and maybe even earn 25 grand a week. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. For me personally, I've said this many, many times before to you guys. No player is unsellable for me this summer, apart from Martinez, Kobe Mainoo, Garnacho, and that's genuinely probably it. Honestly, like I think the rest of them, you know, I would be a little bit sad if Rashford went, just because he has that sentimental attachment to, you know, being from Manchester and all the rest of it. I'd be a little bit sad if Bruno left, because I think he has been good for us over the years. But generally, like, none of these players are unsellable for me now, and I think we need to completely clear house. Let's have a look at the results of the poll so far then. So 57% of you would sell Pellistri on a permanent deal in the summer, and 43% of you would not. Irvin says, Kieran, if Declan Rice went for 100 million, why can't Rashford go for the same or a bit more? It's a good question, mate. It's a good question. And that's why I said on the show this morning, like, I really hope that Marcus Rashford has a great second half of the season, because that will just massively increase his stock price. I think his stock price is quite low at the moment. Obviously, he's not been performing that well on the pitch. He doesn't look interested. Obviously, he's got all these off-field issues going on now as well. And I think that other clubs looking at him aren't going to be blowing 100 million on him, because they'll look and say, Manchester United are struggling. He's not performing. You know, he's got all of these off-field issues. Whereas Declan Rice was had just come off the back of winning a European trophy with West Ham, had a great season with them. I think it's a different conversation, but I get your point. I think if the question had been how much was Marcus Rashford worth in the summer just gone, it would be 100 million easily, you know, but that's not the question. But we'll talk about Rashford again in a little minute. Right, just a really, really quick one on some more departures, and that is about Sofyan Amrabat. I'm going to get another poll going. So the results of the last poll was 57% of you would sell Pellistri in the summer, 43% of you would not sell him in the summer. Anybody who's watching it back on repeat, obviously let me know in the comment section, would you sell Pellistri in the summer? I'm going to end that poll. And everyone who's just joined, please smash a like on the video. We've got over 200 people watching already, which is incredible. Let's try and hit 200 likes on today's video. So please smash a like on the video, everybody. It doesn't cost any money. It's completely free. So the next question I'm going to ask you this evening is, would you sign Amrabat on a permanent deal? Would you sign Amrabat on a permanent deal? Oh, it's a simple question. Would you sign Amrabat on a permanent deal? Yes or no? And the reason I bring this up is there is a couple of stories coming out in the last hour or so saying that Sofyan Amrabat will return to Fiorentina when his Manchester United loan ends at the end of the season. So for anybody who's unaware, I think we paid a loan fee of around 9 million euros. And then there's an option to buy in the summer for about, I think it's 20 million euros. And from what we're hearing at the moment, Manchester United are not going to buy him in the summer. There's only 17 games left of the Premier League season. Obviously, he's at Africa Cup of Nations at the moment. If he continues in that tournament, which we expect he will do with Morocco, he'll be gone probably till mid-February. He's going to miss, I think, about 3 or 4 games, over the next few weeks period. So by the time he comes back, there probably will only be maybe, let me just have a quick look. I would imagine there'll probably only be about 14 games left of the season. And obviously at that point, you've got Casemiro back, you've got Mainoo back. I don't think Amrabat's going to really get any game time, to be completely honest with you. And with that in mind, for me personally, I wouldn't sign Amrabat. I don't think he's been that good. I think he's been okay. Yes, we've not had our best players to play alongside him, but from what I have seen of him, I think he's slow. I think he gives the ball away quite easily. He's physical, he's strong, that's great, but I don't think he's that good personally. I was really excited about Amrabat. I thought he was going to be the missing piece of the puzzle, but from what I've seen of him so far, he's not really impressed me, to be completely honest with you. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Would you sign Amrabat on a permanent deal? As I said, United paid a 9 million euro loan fee to Fiorentina, and they have the option of an extra 20 million. If they pay 20 million in the summer, they'll get him on a permanent deal. But let me know. Somebody in the comments says, if a £100 million bid came in for Rashford, would you sell him? 100%, mate, without a shadow of a doubt. Honestly, if PSG came and offered us 100 million for Rashford, I would happily take that without even a blink. 100 million, that would be pure profit as well. Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. But let me know in the comment section, guys, how would you sell Marcus Rashford? I think, for 100 million, you've got to. Lumen says, Kieran, what wrong has Amrabat done to not get a permanent deal? I mean, I can flip that back on its head. What right has Amrabat done? His best performance in a Manchester United shirt was when he played at left back, I think. And that kind of sums it up for me. I don't think he's really stood out when he's played in the middle of the pitch. I think we've been overrun. I think he's slow. I think he gives the ball away quite easily. I think he passes the ball sideways a lot. He's not very creative. He's not like, a player who pushes the ball forwards much. I think he kind of plays sideways passes or backwards. And I don't know, he just doesn't really excite me. I think we need a creative player in that position who can also do the defensive work as well. Somebody obviously like a Frankie de Jong, that's the dream situation, isn't it? Or even Kobe Mainoo, he can do the defensive work, but also has an eye to get further up the pitch and, plays nice balls and stuff. Whereas I just don't think Amrabat has that in his game. I think he's more of a bruiser who just sits there. And obviously he's not on the level of Casemiro. Like, Casemiro is levels above Sofian Amrabat for me. And when I break it down, right, I would much rather give Kobe Mainoo game time than give Sofian Amrabat game time, personally. I think Kobe Mainoo could be a world-class player in the next kind of 3 to 5 years, whereas you look at Sofian Amrabat, he's 28 this year. Even if we signed him on a permanent deal, right, he'd probably only be at the level he is now, which I think is not good enough anyway, for the next 2 or 3 years. And then I think you'd have to move him on. So for me, it's a no. It's not really the profile of player that we should be kind of tying down to a long-term contract. Otherwise, it's just going to be another player on big wages in his 30s that, we can't sell, no resale value. And it just doesn't really make any sense for me personally. But obviously, if you disagree, let me know in the comment section. I always read all of the comments and, like to see what other United fans have to say. Right, let's move over to this story about the PSG star before we wrap up the video. Now, this player is somebody I like. I'll say to begin with, his name is Hugo Ekitike. I can never say this guy's name, so if I've said it wrong, I do apologise. Hugo Ekitike. I think I've said it right there, actually. Hugo Ekitike, 21 years of age. He moved from Stade Reims to PSG in the summer for around 28 million euros. Now, he's one of those players who is a wonder kid, He's someone that's been touted to become one of the top players in world football. He got his dream move to PSG. He's only played 8 minutes so far in the French league. He's only played 8 minutes in all competitions for PSG, which is terrible, really, isn't it? Like, that's so bad. But what do you really expect? They've just bought Colin Mouani and they bought Gonzalo Ramos. And they've got Kylian Mbappe, of course. How was he going to ever get any game time? And the story this afternoon or this evening even is that apparently Manchester United have been offered the chance to sign Hugo Ekitike on loan. It says Manchester United have been offered the chance to sign PSG forward Hugo Ekitike before the transfer deadline day. Now, would you sign him at Man United? Let me know. I'll wrap up that poll. So 63% of you don't want Amrabat to stay on a permanent deal and 37% of you want him to stay. Okay, cool. So we've got one final poll before we end the video, and that's going to be, do you want Hugo Ekitike at United on loan? Again, simple question. Anybody watching it back on repeat, let me know in the comment section. Would you like to see Hugo Ekitike join Manchester United on loan in the next coming days? Now, I think he'd be a good signing. I do. Is he better than Rasmus Højlund? I don't think so personally. I think Rasmus Højlund is levels above him at this moment in time. But it would be good to have another young striker who, would get game time, because he would. So yeah, in short, I would definitely sign him if we could do that deal. Obviously, he's not really playing for PSG, so I don't know why it wouldn't happen. There's a couple of other teams who are interested. Apparently, West Ham, amongst others. Obviously, Anthony Martial is injured, so we need a striker. Obviously, Erik ten Hag has said that, we weren't going to get a striker, but things happen in the market, you know? Yeah. But let me know what you guys think about that one. Hugo Ekitike to Manchester United, yes or no? Let me know your thoughts. For me, I would say yes, just because I like the guy. I think he's a good player. I think he's of the right profile. And maybe there's a world where you could sign him on a permanent deal in the summer if he does well. I'm not really too sure. But yeah, most people in the chat seem to be saying yes. Muez says, I'd rather have Amrabat on a permanent deal than McTominay. I would rather get rid of Amrabat and McTominay. I don't think either of them are good enough. Like, we shouldn't be settling for, oh, he's better than McTominay. Most players in the Premier League are better than McTominay in the CDM position. So to go on that argument of, oh, Amrabat's better than McTominay, like, that's not really the level that we should be aspiring to, you know, with this whole new management team, Omar Barada. Would Amrabat get in the Man City team? No. Would he get in the Liverpool team? No. Would he get in the Arsenal team? No. Would he get in the Brighton team? Probably not. Would he get in the Tottenham team? No. Is he better than Basuma at Brighton? No. You know what I mean? Like, when you break it down, would he get in the West Ham team above the Alvarez guy that they got from Ajax? I don't think so. Zayn says Amrabat was a bit unlucky. He came with no preseason and was injured and played at left back, but it is what it is. I get what you're saying, mate, but he has played in the midfield as well. And like, when he's played in the midfield, he hasn't really shown me much. And for people to say, oh, give him a chance, give him a chance. Kobe Mainoo's 18 years of age, right? He came into that team and absolutely took the world alight in those few games, realistically. So to be like, oh, a 27, 28-year-old needs time to settle, and like, I get it. That is how football works. But we've got somebody else who's, you know, come through the youth academy, 18 years of age, and has walked straight into that team and lit it up. So I would much rather, you know, give him the opportunity than give someone who's turning 28 this year the opportunity and the hope that they settle and they might turn into somewhat of a player. Like, it doesn't really add up to me, you know. I'd much rather focus on the youth players now, focus on the younger ones that are going to be the next, you know, 10 plus years at Man United. Amrabat's not going to be that. Even if we got 1 or 2 good years out of him, at the age of 30, 31, you're probably going to want to move him on and he'd have no resale value. So that's why I'm, you know, kind of a bit anti it now. I'm going to wrap the video up here, guys. Thank you so much to everyone who has joined me on the show this morning. This morning? It's the evening. It's dark here. This evening. There will be no show tomorrow morning, just so everyone's aware. I've got, I'm busy. I've got something I need to do tomorrow morning, so I won't be able to do a video, but I will obviously be back in the evening. So have a good day, everybody. Please do smash a like on the video before you leave. Subscribe if you're new. This has been Daily Red Devil. Have a good night, everybody, and I'll speak to you all tomorrow.